Tonight in Joliet, Illinois, the clash is due to begin, and the championship chase is officially here. And tonight we get it started in the Do the Move podcast 180. The driver on your screen entering qualifying for the first time. 8 minutes left on the board. That's Matthew Thunhorst, your regular season points champion and seed number 1 of the 16 who remain to get this championship chase on the way. Going to be a great show here in Chicagoland, a mile and a half, giving us an exciting showdown to begin the hunt for that title and its prizes. I'm your host for tonight's event. I am David Kreutz, and I'm especially excited to be here with you as we get this one started. It's going to be Matthew Thunhorst along the way for his first time lap here in qualifying, and the man in that number 8 machine already on the move, while many drivers have taken laps in the field of 30, and it looks like already 23 drivers have taken their time tonight. Going to be Anthony DeBarro, top man on the board in that number 27 machine. Going to be able to slide his way up into the pole position with Alan Dobbs now 26 thousandths of a second away, and the returning Michael Stroll in the 3rd spot in the AC Delco 38 machine. AC Delco, great to see that beautiful paint scheme back, as Thomas Bresci going to be 4th as Matthew Thunhorst goes to the top of the board, and from strength to strength, it's going to be Thunhorst, the top man on the charts once again. And the 8 machine going to be there. How about that? Going to be top man with Anthony DeBarro there in 2nd, and Alan Dobbs in 3rd. Going to be Michael Stroll in 4th now, and Thomas Bresci inside that top 5. Now, how about that lineup? Going to be Thomas Bresci now in 6th, as Brian McFerrin in the number 7 machine after a strong run last week in Iowa. He's going to be able to put it into 7th. Great to see that for him, as Rob Ackley is there in 8th, and Adam Wood will be in the 9th position. Great to see some returning drivers as we get things kicked off here in Chicagoland. Now we're going to break down how the clash works, because it is going to be akin to NASCAR's playoff format. 16 of the drivers in this series are eligible at the moment, and as a matter of fact, you can see them delegated on your screen. If they have custom colors and they have either their own set or the orange and black outline on the ticker, well, they are eligible for the championship. Take a look at Adam Wood's lineup on the bottom of the screen. That 45 red and black, that means he is not in the clash for this season, and as the races go on, more drivers eliminated, they will not be able to hold on and retain their custom colors. So the colors mean these are the drivers still eligible. It's going to be an elimination format, and it's going to go from 16 down to 8 and then to 4 for the final event in this half season. Going to be at Charlotte, the longest race running so far. But tonight, a bit of a short one, 180 miles and 120 laps around Chicagoland to get things kicked off. Going to be more of a sprint for some of these guys, but they do have to endure some twisted conditions. Chicagoland, the mile and a half in Joliet, it is not used in the NASCAR Cup Series or any series at the moment anymore. However, a very well-known and well-admired track Chicagoland is, and these drivers are going to have to get used to it. It's going to be the D-shaped tri-oval that they are all using, not the off-road infield course that has been used as of recent by Supercross in very recent competition. Going to be Cody Griffin on his way, one of the 16 on the board here. Some guys sneaking in like Alan Dobbs as of recent, just able to get himself in after a perfect podium finish in Iowa on an alternate strategy. Cody Griffin able to cruise his way in on consistency, and drivers like Bresci and Thunhorst dominated the season up to this point, and that is the reason they are still here contending for the title. So with that being said, Cody Griffin on the way right now, and he's going to be 29th on the board as it stands. Goes all the way up into 19th on his first lap. Going to be a total of 33 drivers registered now, so it is still growing with 4 minutes remaining on the charts. And Cody Griffin of the drivers in the clash at the moment, one of the last to get on the track, and Alan Daffin. Alec going to be last on the board for those eligible for the title fight who are in this race tonight. Not good for Alec at the moment, going to be 28th on the board, about 0.3 of a second off of pole position. He's got a long way to work through if he wants to get up front to the field later on in the night, but he has been quick as of recent. 4th place at Iowa, close to a podium. So that momentum could come through once again for Alec, and he could begin to show himself as a championship contender. It's going to be the man in that number 43, Alan Rommel, on his way in the Spam Toyota very soon. Trevor Trago going to be on as well. The 37 is yet to take a lap. And neither has his teammate in Carson Bechtel. Cal Filarski going to be in the same boat right now. Filarski one of the 16 eligible. That is not the case. It's going to be Gael Brooks, one of the guys in a similar boat as the one in that 6 machine was. Consistency got the Filarski machine out of the race, but it was the 71 of Gael Brooks who benefited the most, and he was able to put it down lap after lap. Brian McFerrin is on pit road. And Cody Griffin, one of the very few drivers still taking laps. Debuting last week, had a great run, 14th on the board. And it is, in fact, Chris Coupeau there once again. This is his second week of competition. Got a nice debut. 14th spot in the Hendrick Cars Chevrolet. So looking to back up that strong run with another consistent one here. As it stands, it's going to be the 28th spot. Now up to 27th for Coupeau. Minutes and 53 seconds left on the board. Time is flying, and Trevor Trago is still not taking his lap. So with that being said, 30 drivers are on the board thus far. It's going to be Alan Rodwell last, of which half a second off, and it's going to be the driver in the 8 machine. Once again, Matthew Thornhurst, the top man. Cody Griffin comes down to the apron that time by testing it out. These drivers can use the apron here at Chicagoland. However, it looks like he'll be using it a bit too much for a fast lap. He'll come in this time through and park the number 3 machine, and it looks like that will mean that Chris Coupeau is the only driver still taking laps. He's actually getting it wound down as it stands, and that means that Trevor Trago is going to be on the way in that number 37 machine. Trago going to be on the move with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, and it appears that Trevor will be the final man to take a lap here in qualifying as he gets on the roll, this time by it is number 37 Chevy Camaro. Now, teammates might become a very important factor here as the weeks go on. We know that the 59 machine of Carson Bechtel is the teammate of Trevor Trago, and having someone else who can cut the air with you is going to be crucial if you want some prolonged success. Trago, one of the guys in the back half of the Flash standings coming out of tonight, and he knows that he has to do everything in his power to keep himself in contention. As it stands, going to be on to its first lap. Trevor Trago going to be 1/10 off his average lap in practice so far. But as he comes down the Brant back straightaway, not too much time is lost. Still looking good for the man in that number 37. Have we taken on board with the man in that number 37 indeed as he makes it to his first time lap's conclusion. And Trago gonna go way high, back down low. Chris DeWeese in the chat, thank you for stopping by. Great to have you in the BDR fan club here. DeWeese is one of 16 still in championship contention. Hope to have you all season long as Trago's gonna get loose here and slide right back up. He's gonna be now position number 31 as Cal Filarski in the same mode, rather than a similar one, is gonna be going down the backstretch for his first timed lap. Qualifying gonna come down to the wire here in Chicagoland. It's gonna be between Filarski and Bechtel for the final time laps. Looks like Bechtel puts his down first. That's gonna be a 31.382. 29th it'll be for the man in the 59. 35 seconds remain. It's going to be Cal Filarski going to go one better than Trevor Trago. No, he'll be 33rd and last as it stands. So 33 drivers have taken the time. And that means that every driver putting one lap in at the minimum. Drivers such as Thomas Bressi putting up to 6 trips down the start-finish line. But Filarski is going to blow it there. And that will be it. Bechtel going to come down the line this time through. What's he got in store? It looks like it's going to be a new best in qualifying. And that will be upped into 20th. On his final run. But with that being said, the dominator of the regular season is the fastest man tonight in qualifying. Matthew Thornhurst, the top man in pole position. And as we get it all warm up, give us just a moment to get your starting grid on your screen, and we will be good to go. Going to be 5 minutes of warm up here before the show gets on the road. And it's of course going to be Matthew Thornhurst, one of those drivers to keep an eye out for. We'll have Thomas Bressi on your screen as he is due to set out for one trip around in his warm-up. Let's see what he's got in store as we get the starting grid on your way for the Do The Move Podcast 180. Been a great season so far. The regular season was as exciting as ever, and tonight the Clash gets the kickoff in style. 16 championship-eligible drivers have to battle with the remainder of the field to get it done, and what a battle it will be. Of course, Thomas Bressi, one of those guys in the fight, finished second in the regular season standings just 1 week ago. Not his strongest run, admittedly, at Iowa, but he looks to bounce back and bounce back big as he is on frame here tonight in Joliet. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is your starting grid for tonight's event. It is the Do The Move Podcast 180, and we will do our own moves and get to your first man in qualifying. And that will be Matthew Thornworth, the top man in regular season, pole position to start off the clash, a 30.973, with Anthony Navarro right beside him, 1/10 off, 30.984. That's going to be Chad Cole, a shock run. He's going to be third with a 30.992 outside row number 2. Alan Dobbs going to be in the fourth spot, 31.022. There is Thomas Bresci rounds at the top 5 with 31.026. That's going to be Michael Stroll with 31.034, position number 6, and Cody Griffin there in 7th, 31.04, and Brian McFerrin with a 31.069. Our nice run puts him into the 8th position on the board. Going to be another clash contender, Rob Ackley, 31.07, going to be right there in the 9th spot, and Jacob Fife going to be in the 10th spot with a 31.076. And in the mix, it's going to be position number 11. Let's get right on to that. Going to be Adam Wood. Welcome back to Adam. It's going to be a 31.086 for him, and DJ Stagger going to be 14th. But in between that 45-64 sandwich, going to be Don Stevenson, 31.092 in 12th. And then Gael Brooks, 31.0103 in 13th. With, of course, Staggers, 31.125 there in 14th. From there on out, going to be Justin Morton, 15th, 31.127. Alec Daffy going to have a 31.137 there in 16th. And Joe Dinsmore going to be in the mix himself, going to be at 31.144 as Braxton Lewis makes himself known, sells the score, and he's going to be 18th, 31.152. One of the guys in the back half of the field in the clash, as Cody Smith going to be right there, 31.186, 19th, and then Carson Bethel going to be 20th, 31.176. From there and out, the remainder of the grid going to go as follows. Nick Tarbuck going to have a 31.184, Forrest Smith going to have a 31.191, and Chris Gavo going to have himself in 23rd outside row 12. Then it's going to be Brandon Bernhardt in the 24th position, and Casey Shue in 25th. Then it's going to be Kyle Cooper, 26th, and Brad Patton is going to be the final man in the clash, was qualified in the back half of the field. Although that remains to be seen. We have a few more spots to go. Maybe 27th with Brandon Winter, 28th, Jonathan Kieran, 29th, and Boomer Logan in position number 30. And the final 3 drivers going to be Alan Rowell, 31.495 for the 43. Last man in the clash in qualifying will be second to last, 32nd, Trevor Trago, and Cal Falarski going to ride shotgun in 33rd. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event, the Do The Move Podcast 180. And with that being said, Bresci on his way. Let's get your ticker right back up on your screen, because tonight is going to be one hell of a show. 120 laps to get this thing done, and every driver is excited as ever. This one means more than anything thus far. Night Series, it's in its infancy. Integrity Racing League expanding to 2 leagues this season, and this is the Monday night entree, and it's going to be a great show as always. It has been one hell of a battle between Thornworth and Bresci for the top spot in the regular season, and they look to continue it as Bresci right now second to the board in warm-up. However, it looks like Daytona winner, the guy who started it off with a bang, is looking to start the clash off with a bang. He's the top man here in the standings with a 31.11. How about that for Rob Ackley selling the score quite nicely? He's going to be top man by 54 thousandths. And then it's going to be Brad Patton in third. Alan's Art Images, thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciate the support tonight. As we get things going in style, going to be 35 seconds remaining. DJ Stagger going to be in 4th. Brad Patton right there in frame is in 3rd. Chad Cole still keeping up his pace. He's in 6th right now. And second practice, as always, fine-tuning, not the fastest laps. Just want to get them in to make sure you got what it takes at the tail end of the night. So when it all comes down to it here and now, warm-up is going to conclude. And Casey Shue will be there in 7th. Matthew Thornworth is going to be in 8th, and Don Stevenson going to be in 9th. So every driver, it looks like not every's gone out, but 19 of which have taken time lap. And Rob Ackley down to pit road will be the fastest man in their second practice. And that will be it here in warm-up as we get into your 120 lap main event. It's going to be here, and it is going to be now. And every driver knows this one means everything. This could be the money race for some drivers, championship chances. You want to start it off good, and the momentum, it might snowball against you or it might snowball for you. It all depends on how you run here tonight. Not going to be the longest of races. They got about 2 laps done every minute, so these drivers have to be on their toes all night long. The grid shot already there, always a beautiful picture. And tonight, the iRacing official pace car with the honor of leading the Barrow and Matthew Thornworth down to the start-finish line to get this thing started. Every driver getting in this one, it's going to be Patton in 27th, Rowell in 31st, still waiting on Carson Bechtel, Braxton Weiss, Alec Daffin, and Matthew Thornworth have yet to spawn in, but you can see almost the entirety of the field is there already. And now the side-by-side shot right at the line. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, it was the Tales of the Turtles 400 way back when at Chicagoland. Nickelodeon had a major partnership with this track, the SpongeBob SquarePants 400, one of the races as well, just to name a few. But tonight, it's not going to be a cartoon. This one's a simulation of the best racing in the oval scene throughout the world. And now they will be able to grab a gear and get it going. The Barrow going to be outside, as it is Matthew Thunderous on the inside pole position as every driver gets it rolling here and now. And we will have one pace lap to get these guys in gear and grab it all as we get ready for the show. The clash begins here and now. And Matthew Thunderous leads the way. 120 laps to do it. Anthony Navarro's had an awful lot of pace, not a lot of luck. One of the guys who'd be in the clash if everything went his way. I tell you what, almost got it done at Las Vegas. Had a lot of pace there. And Navarro looked good, I tell you what, last week at Iowa. So tonight might be yet another night that shows you. Next time we do it, we're going to come back from a summer break very soon. And we get back in August, September. He could be one of the guys to watch. I tell you what, he's been sliding his way throughout the field with that DeBarro sliders machine, so keep an eye out for the man in that 27. Quite frankly, he's up there in my picks for next season. Tonight, just not going his way, but Mr. Evie, Matthew Thunderous, leads him down. And your regular season champion for the first time in the Integrity Ignite Series gets to light the fuse and put them all in motion for the first championship chase. And the iRacing official pace car dives in this time by 16 drivers. Only a handful of races left, and it's going to be 120 laps to get the first race in the Clash in the Integrity Ignite Series underway. Let's go racing in the Do The Move Podcast 180. And the leaders are going to wreck. Not even at the first lap, but we have a big incident. The top two drivers take each other out, and the yellow flag, well, I tell you what, it's out. And the leaders in the first lap of the clash go down and around. And we were going to let that lap go silent, but we saw them two drifting up, and now we'll have to take an instant replay. And Matthew Thunderous, the top seed, now is in need of a big saving grace. You can see by this point, already wrecked. And I can't believe it. As you can see, side by side, they rubbed each other up. And Thunderous got loose, gets into the Barrow, sends the Barrow in, gets Matthew Thunderous involved again. And there they go. I can't believe it. It looks like Bressie going to be there with Chad Cole. They take the lead. And Stroll on his return gets wrecked immediately thereafter. Jacob Fife going to get it through. And I don't believe what we have just seen. Top seed, number 8 machine, is now down and out after a regular season of dominance. He's going to fall back major. The points have been reset. Stroll got caught up with it. And here we go again. This time by the Barrow in big trouble. And so is the driver in that number 8. I don't believe what we have just seen. And it looks like these guys due to come down to the pit road. This time by leading Gabo there as well for Smith, Jacob Fife. And it looks like Trevor Trago right there with the Matthew Thunderous for the lead is done. Perhaps with his winning chances, if not the entirety of the race, and he comes down a pit road just like that. 3 laps in, and we have our first yellow of the night. Didn't even make it to the first lap, I believe. That is the first time we've seen that all season long. In your regular season championship winner and the regular season points lead transfer to the Clash. Well, now that lead, it is decimated. And the man who was in second in the points all throughout the season is now in second in this race. Take a look at this. Thomas Bressie in that number 2 now is right there behind Chad Cole and in front of the remainder of the field. Nobody else on his level. He did get some rear end damage, but it doesn't mean all too much just yet. Able to skirt on by and almost actually led that first lap. That's going to get him 1 spot back, but he's still thankful to not be involved in that incident and now has a chance to make up major points in the championship race. And I can't believe what we have just seen as Thomas Bressie, Alan Dobbs, another Clash contender, and actually able to make it through. Cody Griffin there as well. They're all on your screen in orange or their own custom colors. and a good majority of them make it by, but the man who was top spot in the championship standings all season long caught up in the first race, hunting down the overall title. Their double file once again will let them go uninterrupted for a lap this time. Hopefully we make it through lap number 5 to get this race restarted. Our first yellow in our first lap, and now on to the first restart of the night. Just like that, the clash, the tempers are overflowing already. Anthony DeBarro and Matthew Thonos look to be down and out. Maybe not retired just yet. It looks like they're still trying to go at it, as Thonos has scored in 32nd. DeBarro scored in 30th with a modified machine. As now Chad Cole, with a great qualifying run-in, looks to back it up. He's your race leader now, and that 17 machine showing some speed out of recent as well. So could be another underdog in for the taking. Last time we saw one, it was DeBarro up in front. He got slid way up high there. They got involved. Nobody gave. And they all took some major damage. Will it happen again? Is it due to happen again? I'm not quite sure. Let's find out this time by. Let's let these engines roar for a lap. Let's hope they make it through. First race of the night here in the clash, led by Chad Cole, and the green flag is out once again. And this time through, they do, in fact, make it one lap's distance. Bressie going to be a race leader. And Chad Cole is there in second, but Cody Griffin trying to hit him down on the inside line for third. 3 wide already, going to be 3 again, as Dobbs takes him to the middle. And Alan Dobbs has been one hell of an aggressor as of recent. The one-stop strategy at Iowa, the only man to get close to making it work. And with about 10 laps to go, still involved with the battle for the lead, but he gave that one a Matthew Thonos with some late race contact. And that means now he'll have to earn all those points back and then some. He snuck into the championship race as the 16th and final seed, but now looking to prove he's one of the top drivers right behind Thomas Bressie, who looks set to usurp the points lead if he keeps it out in front. And they go side by side once again. Going to be Bressie up high, Alan Dobbs down low, and it's going to be Cody Griffin there in third, with Chad Cole in fourth. Take a look at the middle of the pack right now. Going to be Don Stevenson, there with Jacob Fife and DJ Stagner. And Stagner, one of the Clash guys, so is Stevenson, and so is Jacob Fife as well, right there. And they're battling to get into the top 7 here. Brian McFerrin holding them all off. Stagner now side by side with Jacob Fife. Going to be the Brian McFerrin machine, not in the Clash, but he is still fighting as hard as he can, knowing that this could be an opportunity to get a race win, get that experience, get that reputation boost, and put himself on the map for the next season. That's always what you want to see as a driver. Focusing on the checker no matter what is going on. Of course, the next season might be a mine for some of these guys, but the championship winnings, while not available for some, are still for the taking. Got to race with respect as well. So McFerrin right now is not bowing down to Don Stevenson. Stevenson right behind him here. Don goes down on the inside line, tries to make something work, has it there on the quarter panel, but it looks like it's going to be McFerrin blocking him off, at least for the meantime, as they come down the branch back straightaway once again. And DJ Stagner, how about the man number 64? Stagner winning at Bristol, carries them all the way through, and right now looking good as well, as he keeps himself right in tow with Fife and Stevenson, ever consistent drivers. Now Fife not a winner in the Integrity Racing League this season, despite being the league owner, looking for that first checkered flag in his own right. However, it seems like Alan Dobbs still has possession of the race. The highest driver was in the championship standing. It's Alan Dobbs. The highest driver not in the Clash at the moment is Chad Cole. And clashing with the best in the league, that 17 machine is. And the black and red, that signifies he is not in the running. Kerry Hopkins, thank you for stopping by here. Greatly appreciated. Alan Robble getting lapped this time by, but Cole has been on it all night long. Qualified in third, got as high as the first position early on, but right now the first doesn't have gone through, or almost have gone through as we come to lap 12 next time by, and Chad Cole still right there with him. Going to be Adam Wood getting a bit shaky that time, ball though, and it's going to be Wood, one of the lap machines as well, it appears. Down for the count, Adam Wood actually in a lap machine. He's in 6th right now, and Wood is on a tear, gets by that lap machine of Alan Rommel, and the number 45 machine going to be on the move with the 47. Adam Wood, not a guy we've seen in the last few races, and much like Michael Stroll, back looking for more, but this time it seems like Adam Wood has a bit more luck. That number 45 machine goes up high. It's going to be Don Stevenson way down low as they go double file once again. It's going to be Wood down the back with that momentum, and the inside line, less distance taken by the Don Stevenson machine, and that will play a part as well. Now, one thing we might not mention, well, of course, with the first lap caution, might not be suited to mention it just yet, but this could turn into a fuel strategy event, and think of fuel like energy. Well, quite frankly, that's how these guys might have to look at it. I tell you what, from my own experience, I've ran 2 miles in the past 4 days, very recently, of course, outside of the sim. Now, you got to think of it in one way. There is, of course, a track with multiple lanes, but distance will burn up more energy. Even if you get a wider run off into the straightaways, it doesn't really exist with people. It does exist more with cars. You want to conserve that distance for the most part if you are going to save tire. That looks to be what Ackley's doing right now. Alan Dobbs is just stretching his lead, burning up all of that energy, trying to get that first lap fever out of the way. Now it's going to be 14 laps through this time through, and he is still the fastest man by a long shot. Cody Griffin here in second. It's going to be Thomas Bresci in third now, as it seems like the top drivers are beginning to spread out just a bit. The mid-pack, though, it is still oh so close. As it's going to be side by side, Nick Tarbuck and Carson Bechtel. Now, Tarbuck is one of those guys in the clash right now. He is looking to get a much better finish than this. He was up in front last time we went racing at Iowa, but looks like this mile and a half not suiting his strengths. And is currently going to be mired back in the 17th position. Carson Bechtel going to be in the 16th spot, and it looks like Braxton Weiss climbing up just a bit, but still not climbing up enough. He's in 15th with Alec Daffin, another driver in that championship hunt right there for the taking. Number 1 machine is in 14th, chasing down Gael Brooks. Now, Gael Brooks, one of the guys to mention in the clash as well. That number 71 machine is actually not in the clash, my apologies. It looks like he's up there on our standings, but the 71, one of the most consistent guys night in, night out. That 71, oh, so close to making it through. We might have to reevaluate our timing and scoring just to make sure he is or isn't, as we do get updates only about once every week just to make sure everything is secure. Alec Daffin, though, you know for sure he is in there. He's had some close calls, some podium finishes, but overall has not been able to make it happen for that checkered flag just yet. His best finish on the season, a second position. He's been really close to besting that at a few lead laps, almost at Iowa, just not able to turn it into a checkered flag. As right now, everyone is strung out single file. Looks to be a good show so far, as everyone's getting themselves the laps they need to log in to make sure they make it to the end. It's going to be Cody Smith right now, battling on the high side with Kyle Cooper. And Cody Smith, a well-known veteran in the Integrity Racing League. I tell you what, tonight, not his night when it comes to championship running, but the man who got it done for the 2022 Integrity Racing League Championship, looking to run it back in the Octane Series. Tonight, though, the Ignite Series just looking to get himself acclimated to the sim once again. A lot of these guys only run on Mondays and Tuesdays if they're even running 2 series, so getting themselves all warmed up for the next night of racing. Just want to get yourself connected to the same group of guys and see what you can do. Now, Smith was in the race the Octane Series had at Chicagoland very recently. That might be just a bit of an advantage, but it might not be all too much given the fact these cars drive much differently. So as it stands, the number 18 machine, higher to the mid-pack, looking to get a bit more out of it. He's currently 19th out of 33 on the circuit. Michael Stroll, a returning man tonight. You can see far out of frame for the remainder of the drivers. But Stroll, despite the damage, is still going in that 38th. And great to see that is indeed the case. Michael Stroll been off for the past few weeks. Actually went to the race at the same time as Blake Gordon around the race at Okayama. Now, we haven't seen him ever since then. He ran up front, top 10s, top 15s galore, even though so close to getting it done at Daytona, being the Clash winner this season. But it hasn't panned out for a full-time season, and we'd love to see him back for the next one, an integral part of putting this league on FTN and an integral part of the Ignite Series and its formation. So great to see Michael Stroll back. However, right now, not running too strong. Matthew Thoner's running in 28th, and Anthony Navarro once again out and out of this event. 4 laps down as is, and Thoner's now the top man on, of course, the battle for 28th, but not the top man on the board. Got to be hard for someone to swallow that pill. It's a hard one to swallow no matter where you are in the field, and especially for the first lap, leading the race and then getting yourself destroyed in that incident. He slid up just a bit. It's going to be a contentious call for the both of them, but still got wrecked, and that is what matters. And of course, it is not a positive impact, but it is a major impact nonetheless. Going to be 3 wide right in front. Big battle between Boomer Logan, Jonathan Giron, and Brandon Bernhardt. And Boomer Logan, a great guy to mention in the league as well, as we're looking through every driver here. Logan, of course, writer of 10 questions with Boomer Logan, getting to know these drivers, and it seems like a lot of these guys prefer the Xfinity cars over every car in the main national tour. Was able to write to every Clash driver, ask them what was going on with them, and they answered, comparing the trucks, Xfinity machines, and the Cup machine. It seemed like the Xfinities drove the best. Alec Daffin, for one, mentioned to us on Saturday night the exact same thing about Iowa and the trucks. Said it to Boomer, off-throttle time, it's much more prevalent in Xfinity's machines, too much on throttle on the trucks and the Cup machines. Some of these guys, they seem to be out of control as Trevo drifted just a bit. However, he is still in control, and the 37 chases down Joe Dinsmore, 22 in out of 120, less than 100 laps to do it, as is. Guys are logging laps, but it's going to be a close battle up front, as Thomas Bresci now does have that lead from Alan Dobbs. Dobbs goes down to the inside, and not much you can do that time by the Dobbs machine. There in second, Cody Griffin is in third. It's going to be the Chad Cole, number 17, still there, but it's going to be Griffin getting a bit loose, and Bresci gets that run off the backstretch. Allen had to, of course, give himself some momentum to go in. He had to lose it to get back on the pedal later on. He drifts up this time by, though, and Griffin gets a much better exit, and Thomas now has the edge. Once again, the number 24, this could be the biggest night of his championship run all season long. That number 24 has been neck and neck with Thunderous. However, it looked like Thunderous had a bit of an advantage going into the final few races of the regular season. However, tonight, that is not the case. He's in about 28th spot as is, and leading the drivers in the Clash, it is the man who leads the race overall. And that 24 is in the perfect spot for success here in the first running of the Clash. Alan Dobbs, though, he knows he just has to make it up into the 8th position to be safe for the next round. Now, Dobbs comes in on the back half. However, he's been performing especially well as of late, and it looks like he has definitely practiced for this event. Second as it stands in that number 05. And 25 laps through, while Chad Cole, a non-Clash driver, is right on his back bumper. He is not phased at all, and he keeps it going nice and smooth. And as Alan Dobbs keeps it there in second, Chad Cole goes down to the inside line. That time through, he'll go for third and make it second as he almost gets it there on the apron. No momentum, though, has to turn it down just a bit harder and makes it a bit more challenging to stick it overall. 05 machine has the edge that time through. Going to be Cody Griffin there in fourth, looking to go high on the 17 machine as Alan Dobbs tries to hang him out to dry. Now Cody Griffin has a bit of an edge coming down the back straightaway. Does it work? It looks like he was not clear for just a moment. Chad Cole wasn't, but he gets it back once again, and it will be Cody Griffin having to wait for later to make something happen. It looks like Rob Ackley getting closer and closer in his own right. Keep an eye out for the man in map number 22. Now, we talk about drivers who have had some success in this league early on. Rob Ackley comes to mind. Big battle right in front, by the way. We'll keep an eye on that. But Ackley, Daytona winner, got it done on the first race of the season and put all the worries behind him. And he's ran solidly in the top 10, top 15 all season long from there. Not the best run last time we went at it at Iowa. Seems like his sights were set on tonight, especially as he's battling up front with the best of it. It's going to be Dobbs now with the disadvantage. Chad Cole, having the run of his life right now, goes down to the inside once again and tries to square off that 05 going into the apex once more. And using that run on the apron effectively, it is a challenge for any driver. And Chad Cole right now, seeing the drivers stacked up on the high side and want to get right around him, they're battling for the championship. And he is not, but he's giving them just enough room to struggle and not fail. Alan Dobbs still keeping him honest right now, but not enough to do anything. As Chad Cole goes down to the inside once again. Almost clear that time through he is, but it's going to be Dobbs with a major run, and it will not work, or will it? As it looks to be a crossover, Dobbs going to be down to the inside this time by Chad Cole, going to be right in the middle, and they will try to split him three. If they have anything going right for them, it looks like that time by them, they will fall back major. And Chad Cole gets the edge in the battle. How about that for the man in second? That 17 has been on it all night long. Rob Ackley now going to be in the middle of a battle in his own right. As Alan Dobbs gets right up there. It's going to be Dobbs almost tapped by Rob Ackley. And now Ackley goes high to avoid him. It's going to be Cody Griffin right there in the mix. As we see one driver go down the apron, and I believe that was Casey Shoe. Shoe back for the first time in 2 races. Great to see him in the show once again as he took a few weeks off there. It was an extended break because, of course, we had that off week, but now returning to competition. And the 4 machine looking sharp as ever, 17th as is, chasing down some of the best in the business, including Braxton Weiss and Alec Daffin, who continue to fight with drivers such as Tarbuck and Brian McFerrin. And Brian McFerrin with a start that was, of course, one of the best for him all season long. After a very good run at Iowa, he was just inside the top 5, was running with Alan Dobbs on that strategy all night long. Tonight, well, it looks like he's not there with the best of the best, but he is still holding on to the rest as he chases down Brad Patton, DJ Stagner, and the like. Now has Tarbuck going way up high with him, and it seems like Tarbuck is now leading the chase between those behind him, and he tries to bring DeWeese and Alec Daffin right there with him. Now, these guys are championship contenders, and it seems like the 29 is bringing the 15 and the 1 in tow, as the 7 getting shuffled out aerodynamically. We see 1 go way wiggly, and that looks to be Adam Wood. Wood going to be in big trouble that time by, and we'll find out just what happened. Is Adam Wood now going to be just about as lost as ever? Let's take a quick look at just what happened, finding with our wide shot of the situation. And Wood down to the inside line there, comes back up, and it looks like gets lost on the apron there. And thankfully able to save it. No yellow will fly as a result. We keep it going because Adam Wood able to put the power down and keep it moving nice and smooth. Now going to be in the 12th spot and battling big to get those positions back. Now Tarbuck in 11th. Luis is in 13th, but Alec Daffin still mired back in 15th as he chases down the number 15 machine right there in front of him. Right aboard with the man in that 15. Well, we'll do it in a moment. Let's ride aboard Alec Daffin first and see what it's like to chase down Braxton Luis. And right now, running right behind the 15, has that air being cut right for him, but you can see one driver beside him, and that is Brian McFerrin. Now, Alex is going to see that there's going to be one man who had some damage on the tire. That's going to be Adam Wood right beside Braxton, and that could slow him down if he gets caught up in a consolidated line. We saw a wreck between two drivers making contact early on beforehand. It seems like Alec Daffin is going to be the loser of that battle for now. The number 1 machine will have to, of course, wait and have another turn at it in just a moment's notice. Well, it's going to be Brian McFerrin now in front as a number 15 machine holds on to the 13th spot. Nick Tarbuck, one of the biggest gaining men in that clash so far. That number 29 machine now up to just outside the top 10 in 11th. And 35 laps through, he seems to be gaining more and more on those ahead of him. Brad Patton now going to be in 10th here, and it looks like he gets a bit wiggly that time by. They'll be dead even, and now Patton, who got on the apron through the turns, is due to lose a spot. He's going to be side by side with the number 29 machine. Once again, they will go through without a hitch. The 29 now up high with that momentum, takes it. And how about this? Tarbuck has been on a roll so far. 36 laps through, gets himself into position number 10. Thomas Bressie still your lead man as it stands. It seems like Chad Cole still 2/10 off. Cody Griffin there in 3rd. Ackley going to be in 4th. Justin Morton going to be in 6th. Don Stevenson in 5th. And Morton, of the drivers not in the clash, is currently 2nd in this race. Chad Cole on another level tonight that we have never seen from him. But Justin Morton, we have seen him contend for victories at road courses. But tonight, the first time we've seen him up here in an oval. Almost got him done in the Nürburgring. A big battle between himself, Donnerst, and Bressie. And Thomas Bressie got it done in that Task Force 300 GP. But tonight, the number 9 machine is not under the same circumstances. He could make an undercut and overcut. Strategy is still up in the air for the most part, as one man goes down to the inside line, and it looks like Tarbuck now battling with Jacob Fife and Stagner. Stagner goes up high, keeps there. Going to be Jacob Fife, almost clear of him that time through. But nothing is a certainty, and they'll keep him running down to the front stretch this time around for lap number 38 of 120. And Jacob Fife still right there with Alan Dobbs, but Nick Tarbuck is gaining big time on everyone here. After the driver did not qualify all too well, that 29 is now in good standing to make up some points in the championship running. Going to be the 29 side by side here. And let's get a better look at it if we can. It might just be a better look outside the cars as they are still side by side. Jacob Fife still has him right in his quarter panel, and you can see the Wolf right there. He is howling for that as Alan Dobbs going to go down a pit road this time by, and that looks to be the first strategic stop on the night. Alan Dobbs goes down and in a shocker, but he makes it. And 39 through, it's going to be Alan Dobbs, Jonathan Gearville not there, but it's going to be Kyle Cooper going with them. And 39 out of 120, the first men in, it's going to be those up in front, it looks like, is now Chad Cole right there on Thomas Bressi. The energy, it is dissipating from those tires. And it looks like, quite frankly, Thomas Bressi now in just a bit of trouble. Chad Cole right behind him is going to be non-Clash Man versus the Clash Man right now. And Cody Griffin gets promoted up to third. How about the next level drive, though, for Thomas Bressi? He's right there in the mix with Chad Cole. And when we come to the next level driving, well, Next Level Racing is the place to go. Dedicated sim racing equipment for, of course, the dedicated sim racers want nothing but the best. And a new word about the official partnership between Next Level Racing and Ferrari. Quality, high performance, what have you, the best in the business, Next Level Racing. Visit their website for more information. Going at it since 2009, nextlevelracing.com, your place for high quality sim racing performance equipment for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. We will be right back after this brief message. And that will be your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. And once again, Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009. Dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Now, 43 laps in and our pit cycle is beginning. And Thomas Bressi is yet to go in. However, some heavy hitters have, including, of course, the Brad Patton machine. Nick Tarbuck down, as is Adam Wood right there coming off. And now Tarbuck on his way in the 26th spot, all the way up into 10th on his strategy. Going to be Brandon Wenchard on the move. Matthew Thomas with Jonathan Giron. Brandon Bernhardt is for the taking. And that number 81 machine now gaining major spots as Thomas Bressi comes down and in with Cody Griffin right there as well. And as they all come through, this time through, it's going to be Bressi right in front of them. Don Stevenson right there in the mix as well. This is the most important battle, I believe, in the entirety of this running. Of course, the first stop is underway about a quarter of the way through this race. We expect one more pit stop, and it will be a two-stop strategy if we go all the way green. And Bressi easily gets this one through over Stevenson, DJ Stagner, and then Cody Griffin. Major win for Bressi, but a big win for Stevenson to be so close to your leader. And now they all fly out. Chad Cole cycles out to be your leader by a wide margin, though. That's only because at the moment he is still not with a pit stop. It's going to be 8 drivers who have not pitted just yet. And Jonathan Giron, the last of which, with Bernhardt in 7th, Chris Coupeau in 6th, Trevor Drago 5th, and Boomer Logan there in 4th. That's going to be Brian McFerrin, Kyle Brooks, and Chad Cole goes in this time by. And it's going to be Kyle Brooks, your new leader. But Chad Cole is in. And now the Brian McFerrin machine goes by in 2nd. Cole is dropping and dropping fast as Giron goes right by him. And he still has one lap over Alan Dobbs here, but Dobbs leads the way in drivers who have taken one pit stop thus far. Now let's find out what he can do this time by. Dobbs on the way to get through on the cycle. Is this going to be enough for Alan to take the lead overall? We will remain, of course, unknowledgeable until he comes across the stripe this time by. And Gael Brooks comes in. It's going to be now Chad Cole on the way. His pit stop's going to end right there, but Alan Dobbs gets him by a mile here. And Chad Cole seeing that Thomas Bressi now on the move in the same vein. Chad Cole comes out in front, but not going to be fast enough off exit. And Bressi gets the edge that he desperately desired. But Alan Dobbs might just have it made. He's 5 laps on older tires, but that's not a major difference. Not the biggest difference we've seen in this season. And that could be enough to hold on for lead for quite some time. We estimate that our next pit cycle would be at a lap number 80 or so. So 47 becomes 48 in this time by. And Alan Dobbs will have the edge by a wide margin going to the start-finish line. here and now. How about this? Ahead of Kyle Cooper by 1 second. That's going to be Thomas Bressi by 2 seconds. And now Bressi needs to put the power down. Kelly Allen, thank you for stopping by in the chat as well. Greatly appreciate your support as we get this one going. It's going to be now Tarbuck chasing down Thomas Bressi. And Nick Tarbuck's strategy has been A+ all night long. While he's on 2 laps older tires compared to Thomas Bressi, he's almost equalized himself entirely to make something happen. And Brad Patton now falls down to take a pit stop. And Chris Gabeau, second week on the tour, goes down pit road this time by, and you won't see him as the drivers run down the ramp backstretch to get right to him. And it's going to be an easy cycle through on Chris Gabeau. Nick Tarbuck down on the inside line. He has Thomas Bressi beat, but only for now, as that number 29 now goes up into position number 4. Going to be effectively third right now. Alan Dobbs still getting closed in on. Now Kyle Cooper making that charge on Dobbs. Tarbuck makes the charge for everyone here as he leads the remainder of the pack by a wide margin. Going to be Brandon not in the running. Brandon Bernhardt not there. Braxton DeWeese is now in 8th. And every driver getting shifted big time. DeWeese now up into 9th as he goes side by side with Cody Griffin right there in the back of your frame. And with this big shakeup now, it looks like the Clash drivers are dominating. Alan Dobbs up in front. Kyle Cooper, non-Clash machine, is in second. But then it's Tarbuck, Thomas Bressi, Don Stevenson, Rob Athley, then Braxton DeWeese, and Cody Griffin. Only man in this pack right now not in the Clash is Cody Smith, a proven driver with an Integrity Racing League championship to go along with it. So he is a big stuff. And these drivers are heavy hitters as well, fighting as hard as they can 50 laps in. And as they get into it this time by Nick Tarbuck, going to be in third. He is still side by side as Thomas Bressi now goes up high to try to lead that lap in this pack. He leads the pack to it, but he is still not the overall leader. 2.5 seconds back on Alan Dobbs here. And it could be that these guys are slowing each other down, racing so hard. Now that we have seen before, nothing better for a leader of a race to see behind him than drivers being double file. And now Bressi has gotten the momentum. Here down to the inside on Tarbuck and lead the way with full force. Not good at all for Alan Dobbs here. Last time by, he ran a 32.252, and we will make that a 32.448 compared to Thomas Bressi, running a 31.972, half a second faster. And that time by alone, cutting about a fourth of the way into his lead in this event. Kyle Cooper there in second, 0.8 of a second off of the leader. It looks like Cooper is fading. And now Bressi looking to take him right back up to it as that number 24 machine, the fastest man on the circuit. That is with no doubt. Take a look on board the cockpit of the 24 machine to see what's up. And as Thomas Bressi goes down to the inside line, it methodically moves his way right back up. No resistance on that steering wheel. That is his key to success time and time again. Uses it to his advantage. No other driver has that ability quite like Thomas Bressi. Down the backstretch once more. The ramp back straightaway giving him a lot of speed. Powers in at about 178 miles an hour. Then goes back to work midway through the corner. Then puts the power down again. Looks like Kyle is going to be in a bit of trouble as Cooper getting caught up to and quickly. One of the drivers not in the Clash here now has all of the drivers in the big show looking to get those spots and more importantly get those championship points. 54 laps in. Don Stevenson down the inside line on Thomas Bressi. And the pack grows closer and closer. And this is the most intimidating pack we've seen all season long. Thomas Bressi leading the fray to get those championship points. And what more did we expect? I'm quite frankly going to tell you, not all too much. This is intensity gets the Clash is on. And now every driver in the running is looking for just that advantage on every single point, no matter how much it means. And Don Stevenson down on the inside line. This time through, Stevenson has the work cut out for him, though, as he goes down and in. Bressi right there up top. Cody Griffin now sees himself in, tries to see himself out, but he does not get through. And Stevenson blocks him pretty big. Going to be Cody Griffin there in 5th. Ackley there in 6th as Kyle Cooper now up high. Seeing the big show right on his bottom side. Stevenson now going to be blocked by Cooper. What are they going to do? They're going to leave him out to dry, take him way up high. And Thomas Bressi now has Kyle Cooper fighting for his life to stay in this group. Alan Dobbs knows that time is running out. 56 laps in, trying to lead it halfway. But these drivers have no quit in them. Now Bressi leads them in once again. The back end damage needs nothing to him so far, as he is still as fast as they come. Griffin goes up high though, trying to get something on Kyle Cooper. Nothing works out so far, and he'll have to wait another day. 56 laps through that 73 is here to stay in the pack. And great to see Kyle Cooper holding on there in the top 5, not causing an incident. Split 3 wide middle this time by, I do believe. But he is holding on with all he's got. Older tires, 19 laps on his sit. Older than Alan Dobbs or anyone else on the track right now. That 73 machine knows what he is doing to keep guys at bay. But I'm certain guys like Tarbuck, guys like Morton and Cody Griffin won't be happy as they try to take him 3 wide middle once again. It looks like Cooper goes down to the inside line on the apron here and blocks Tarbuck once more. Now Alan Dobbs is in trouble, 0.3 of a second away. It is Bressi and Stevenson right there as well. And they're coming to the lap machines as well indeed. It's going to be Michael Stroll and Alan Rawell. Now Stroll is on the lead lap still. Alan Rawell, he is not. This is not good news, not in the slightest for either of these drivers. Alan Rawell already 1 down, Cal Filarski 2 down. But Michael Stroll in his return race is still there in the lead lap in the 30th position. So we'd love to see what he can do here, but it does not look like it's going to be much more on that lead lap. As side by side for the lead, Thomas Bressi now has that edge. Does he have what it takes to clear this time by? Not quite sure, but it looks like that he does. Gets it through. Bressi now the leader. Alan Dobbs there in second. Rob Ackley is in third. And now Don Stevenson is in fourth. How about the run for Don Stevenson? And of course, how about the run for Rob Ackley? The plate race ace gets it into the second spot if he can get by Alan Dobbs now. And he tries to make it happen, and it looks like he will be right there for the taking. It's going to be Ackley now up in front in second, but Thomas Bressi still leads the way. And the top 2, top 3 guys begin to spread themselves out here live on FTN. The Do The Move podcast 180 characterized by one big move. Bressi on Alan Dobbs to take the lead here and now. That's way 4 machine coming up in lap traffic. Not much of a worry though, and not carefree in the slightest. Balancing act has been all night long, as with a halfway mark on its way, let's go on board for 1 lap with your race leader with 60 laps to go. And once again, on board with Thomas Bressi, leading the field without much hesitation. 1/10 of a second behind him, though. Rob Ackley is on younger tires here. And the man who started off the championship race with a bang, looking to get it done with far from a whimper here, as he's right behind your race leader. And with 59 to go, he has made it halfway through the crunch time. It is now. And time truly is running out for each and every one of these drivers, contending or not. You really want to make your moves here now, whether or not you're contending for the championship race winners. It is still what you want to be in that category. Rob Ackley has 1 win. Bressi does in fact have 2. Justin Morton right now, the highest driver up, was not in the chase for the cup. It's the clash here, but it's still going to be him chasing down the leaders as Stagner's in 5th. Cody Griffin there in 4th. Don Stevenson is in 3rd. Ackley going to be in 2nd. And now Michael Stroll gets filed up high. Not much more he can do but go 1 lap down in that 38. A pain to see as Michael Stroll caught on an incident not of his own doing. That 38 has to stay up high, seeing them all go right by him. Side by side, Ackley's not just yet, but he's oh so close to making it happen here. And that 24 is going to have to keep himself in check as Ackley takes the apex, gets a good run. Not what Bressi has though, and now Thomas has that edge down the back. And how about the battle becoming a duel once again? Mano-a-mano between the 24 and the 22. And of course, Bressi still has that edge, as you can see on your screen. But I do believe Rob Ackley has a fair shot at it as well. As it stands, though, Bressi leads them down once again. The closest battle to racetrack, far from leaders. It's Carson Bechtel right now, right in the mix with Kyle Cooper. And Cooper falling back to 15th after running up in front. Braxton now going to be in 14th. And Gael Brooks is there in 13th. Alec Daffin is now running side by side with Alan Dobbs down on the inside line. Alec Daffin takes him. And this is a point in the championship running. Not the strongest night for that number 1 machine. Alan Dobbs on altered strategy once again. Trying something new. This time by, though, it did not work out. So Alan Dobbs, even though he's not doing too good tonight, still knows that every point matters, and it's going to be strengths to pick up the pieces and just keep on going. Great to see the attrition from him. However, right now, Rob Ackley is still right there with Bressie. Down to the inside, he goes this time through, and now Ackley has himself a line, and it's going to be Thomas Bressie having to choose something to do on a dime. 55 laps to go. I'm not quite sure what the move is, as Ackley now takes himself into the point from the lead for the first time since Daytona. It's Rob Ackley leading the way here in Chicagoland. And quite frankly, the drivers in the clash, he might be one of the most unexpected to lead this one all night long. Not to say that this man is not a great driver. He has proved to be one of the best in the business, race in, race out, but he's not having that race winning speed. However, right now, going to trade it off for about 1/10 of a second behind the leader. We did lead that one lap, but right now has to run it back to get a few more in. It is showing that he has race winning speed. That might have been a sample for what he has in store for the final run coming at about 10, 15 laps at the most. And now down to the inside, Cody Griffin goes on DJ Stanger. Stanger was in 4th. Now looks to be in 5th, but running down the back, it looks like the 64 has the edge once again. Now DJ Stanger gets it just outside the podium. Don Stevenson hangs on to 3rd. Rob Ackley there in 2nd. And Thomas Bressie keeps it going, nice and smooth. 68 laps in this time by, and it lead them down to lap number 69. And what a nice race it has been as we hit lap 69 for Thomas Bressie. The top of the board, he's seen it lap in, lap out now. And while Ackley gets closer, it seems like there is no match for the Bressie machine as we get into the final few laps. Looking on, it's going to be a big battle between Gael Brooks right now and Brad Patton. Brooks, as it stands, fighting one of the clash drivers, and up high, it looks like Patton will take him, and the 71 has almost the edge there. Is it going to work? Looks like it will. Alec Daffin now looks to pick up the pieces as well, and Daffin just outside the top 10. Those deep spots are as crucial as they get. 12th as is, and eyeing down not only 11th but 10th at the same time. And the 2-for-1 combo, he wants to pick it up and run away with it. He'll have to earn it first as they go through once again. 51 more to do it here and now. The Chad Cole machine now in frame, so is Nick Tarbuck. And Tarbuck, with an amazing strategy call, has put himself into 9th. But it looks like as it stands, the long run machine not coming to life. Chad Cole, though, side by side with Jacob Fife. Oh my. Chad Cole's the edge. And we apologize for the brief interruption there. It looks like I got a bit lost with my words. Chad now in the mix with Jacob Fife, and the 8th spot, he has it. Totally for now. Jacob Fife down on the inside line. He'll try to get it once again. Chad Cole still right there with him. And Chad will have to back off just a bit. Oh, he's going to lunge it out on the inside once again. 50 laps to go. And everything is unpredictable. And one thing that's more unpredictable than my voice is who's battling with Thomas Bressie all night long. Right now, it is, of course, Rob Ackley, but Don Stevenson, right there in 3rd, is still fighting as hard as he can to make it happen. DJ Stagner, though, has been able to put himself into a great position to battle for the victory. He's now in 3rd at the moment, and the blackout machine looking to go lights out on the field, as we always say. But tonight, it's going to matter more than anything. Not a short track duel like what he saw in his first victory with Thomas Bressie battling him. But tonight, Bressie is on the top step of the podium where he gets into the show, and now trying to make it a 3-man affair as the 64 is the fastest man by about a few hundredths of a second every lap. And a few hundredths of a second meaning the difference between winning and losing now. You gotta be on your toes every lap. Rob Ackley now back within 1/10 of a second of your leader for the first time since lap number 60. He's right there once again. Bressie goes up high, almost into the wall, and now Ackley has that momentum. It's going to be quarter panel pitching, but the 22 now has room. Goes down to the inside line. This will be the pass for lead once again. Ackley has a chance now, not on the apron. He has equal footing as they come through once more. It's going to be the 22 machine. No, he gets loose, and now he's going to have to fight it back once again. And as soon as we say level footing, he gets it all slipped apart. And that 22 has to battle back to get it right where he came from. And looking to get it in once again, Rob Ackley gets a bit too aggressive and gives DJ Stanger a chance to get closer and closer to that checkered flag once again. Now 3/10 of a second separate Ackley and Stanger. Half a second between your top three men. And Don Stevenson right there in fourth. He's trying to make it a four-man party. And it takes now 5 to tango if Cody Griffin comes with him. And all these drivers coming into the battle closer and closer to the end of the race. Well, it means something, that's for sure. Everyone now level on older tires. Bressie led the pack in 31 laps on his stint. Rob Ackley is a 1 lap younger set of tires. He's abused it quite a bit to get up to Bressie, so he's in a bit of trouble when it comes to that. He'll have to come in at the perfect time to make it work once again. He goes up high here. Bressie stays in the middle seam, and multiple grooves being used. Ackley is now way up high. DJ Stanger goes all the way down low, then high again, and it seems like there is no stopping Rob as he keeps himself right there trying to rob the victory from that 24. Doug Mindenworth, thank you for stopping by as well. 24 machine right up there, up in the lead, even still 45 laps to go. Time is ticking down. Rob Ackley still has that edge over the man in the 64, but it still seems he does not have anything for the 24 just yet. You're going to look at our close-up drone shot. Stanger goes down low. Rob Ackley keeps it up high here, and as they drive it right off, the wheels are being pushed to the limit, and it's going to be Ackley going down to the inside line here. Takes it. Does he think better of it? I think he does. While that number 24 is in frame, just a moment, nothing more can do, as Thomas Bressie from his close-up drone shot, still your race leader, gets closer and closer to the wall every time. He gets much closer than Rob Ackley does, but nothing that Rob can do so far, as that number 22 Horizon machine has his horizon set on the victory no matter what. 43 laps to go here and now in the Integrity Night Series, and the Do The Move Podcast 180 now going to see DJ Stanger do the move and make himself known. He's now oh so close to the top two guys. He's there in third. That 64 Machina knows the word, and he needs to make this pass here and now if he wants any chance at the victory. And with tire strategy so unpredictable on only one stop and one caution at the first lap of the race, this race is still up in the air when it comes to who will come out on top. Of course, Alan Dobbs won your tire strategy beforehand, but fell off a cliff trying to maintain that lead. Right now, way back in the pack in 14th. Would have to perform miracles to get up there once again, but with 79 laps in the books, both drivers come in for a second stop. Rob Ackley going to be there in second, though. DJ Stanger is in third. Will someone bite this time by? Entering lap number 80, it looks like that they will not. And the race keeps going nice and smooth. 34 laps into this stint for Morton as Thomas Bressie leads the way once again with a next level drive, and we will be back in just a moment. NextLevelRacing.com, high-quality sim racing performance products since 2009, and the best that anyone can get for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Visit NextLevelRacing.com for more information, as we will return shortly after our promotional message from Next Level Racing. Thank you for your support live on FTN. If you do enjoy the broadcast, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got much more exciting action coming to you as the season goes on. We'll be right back after this brief message once again. And with only now 39 laps to go, that was our second Next Level Racing promotional break. We got to thank you all for your support once again, and the battle is heating up for the lead. Bressie down to the inside line once again. DJ Stanger now going to try to go for second here as Rob Ackley goes down to the inside line. He knows his run is done. Down to pit road for the 22. Ackley is in, and Justin Morton is out. Now it's going to be a few drivers coming in at the same time. Alan Dobbs in the mix as well. And it looks like Brad Patton already coming out indeed. Cody Smith has already made his stop. So is Carson Bechtel, Kyle Cooper, Brandon Wenchard. Michael Stroll has not just yet. And he gets taken 3 wide middle by drivers on newer tires. And Thomas Bressie now faced with the question, when does he come in? As it seems like the undercut made by Rob Ackley here. And Bressie going to come down and in with DJ Stagner. They go side by side into pit entry. And it's going to be dicey. It looks like Stagner beats him, but it's going to be oh so close. Now Stagner tries to rev it up side by side down pit road. It looks like it's going to be the Exalted 24 with the edge in. Will he get into the pit cycle first? Well, we'll find out. Pit stalls entry is important. It looks like Bressie makes it in. And Stagner does perfectly as well. This battle's going to get dicey. And quite frankly, it is far from over. This is the most important stop once again. Michael Stroll is in. Bressie, your race leader, comes in with Stagner from second. Don Stevenson is your race leader now. But it looks like at the stripe on pit exit, Stagner has that momentum. Does he get it done? They'll be oh so close. Bressie gets it. And with 36 to go, the race is on once again. Side by side on pit exit. It's going to be Bressie getting out first. The 64 knows he lost one battle, but the war ain't over. He'll have to keep going as Rob Ackley gets right by the both of them. And Ackley, the undercut, gets him the lead. A one-lap undercut is not major, but that gap means all the more when you think about it in the long run. 1 second, and that will give you about 5-10 laps to calculate your next move. As it comes out of the stripe once again, that number 22 now has the advantage that he needs to get this one perhaps in the books and give himself some more time to think it through. He can conserve some tire a bit more, knowing he's only on a one-lap older set. He can perhaps go a bit more aggressive, use some lap machines as pickoffs. Alec Daffin right there in frame in front of him. Could be that strategy, it could be another. As right now, it's Gael Brooks leading by Alec Daffin, or just about a second back. Daffin goes in, Gael does not, and Brooks chooses to lead his lap this time by to make it 34 laps to go. And the championship standings are dicey as ever. Daffin going in this time by signals the final stop for him. Rob Ackley, one of the 16 men on your screen with colors on their driver information. You know what that means? They are in the clash for the championship, and you can see the points on your screen right now. Drivers such as Matthew Thunders and Thomas Bressie came in as top seeds. Drivers like Rob Ackley came in on victories. Stevenson, Jacob Fife on consistency. Alan Dobbs snuck in. And you got drivers in the middle of the way such as Braxton Weiss, Cody Griffin. And of course, we've seen drivers, both of them, in the mix as well. How about Forrest Smith there? And all these drivers from the top to the bottom on your screen looking for the same goal. Tonight, though, Ackley, not the top seed, not in the top two. But he has had a top two race all night long. And he currently finds himself in that first spot, looking to advance his position here in the clash. And as he comes out of the line, Thomas Bressie gaining on him big now, 0.3 of a second away. 33 laps to go here in Chicago, make it 32. And that Bressie boy is now on the charge. DJ Stagner goes right down low. Going to be Cody Griffin still in the chase. And it's going to be now Boomer Logan down and in. He could be the final man on this experiment. That he's not. It's going to be between Gael Brooks, Brandon Bernhardt, and Jonathan Girvan to come in last. Girvan comes in. Bernhardt, is he due to come in this time by? We'll find out as Gael Brooks looks to keep himself on the track. To get some more laps led. 81 will have to come in sometime soon, shutting down Brandon Bernhardt's ability to get extra points. That seems to be the goal for Gael Brooks, as the 81 does not get it through that time by. Chad Cole is the man 1 lap down. Seems to be leading that fray, but overall, Ackley and Thomas Bressie now on the lead lap, and DJ Stagner there as well. Top 3 drivers, red, green, blue, and blue leads the way right now. The primary in terms of computing colors are now right up there in the mix. 90 laps in, 31 make it 30 laps to go. Unbelievable what these three have been able to do, separating themselves from the entirety of the field. Gael Brooks comes down pit road this time by. Bernhardt will be able to lead lap, and that he does. Brandon Bernhardt to the point for the first time all night long. He's 15 seconds up on the man in the 22, and Rob Ackley. Bressie still there in second, inching closer and closer. Thomas Bressie is still in fourth. Going to be DJ Stagner in fifth and Cody Griffin in sixth here. And Griffin 1 second off of Stagner, trying to make sure he doesn't stagnate as the 64 has that draft. A 3-car micro pack up in front all night long. These three have had a shot, and tonight they might just make it happen. The 22 still has that lead here, defending like a lion. However, we're not quite sure how hard the 24 is going or how easy the 64 is taking it in the back, riding shotgun on this battle. And riding in the back of a battle as intense as this, it's a challenge in its own right. Gotta lay back, be calculative, and not let your emotions get to your head. It's all about the process, about the cycle, about the mindset that you put yourself into in a situation like this. You cannot drop the ball at any moment in time. You just have to keep on pushing. As with 29 laps to go, Brendan Bernhardt comes in this time by, and the 22 will cycle up to lead this time through as the 81 makes his way into pit road one final time. Rob Ackley going to be there up in front. Thomas Bressi still right behind him. Nose to nose, they are at the stroke. And the Ackley machine gets a big send into the first turn. Bressi tries to get him on the run back, tries to force a mistake. Does certainly force a run out of himself. And be able to power it down the Brant back straightaway once again. 93 laps in. Rob Ackley knew what he was doing with that undercut, and he has that clean air, which matters the most. The 22 still there in first, staggers in third, and Bressi is in the sandwich right now. Knowing that things are going to get more and more intense, he has to lay back and find out what he has to do. Of course, to get the checkered flag in his own right. We saw a battle for lead turn nasty early on. Our only caution all night long, the first lap. Yellow, Thunderous, and DeBarro. And battling way too early for that, like it was the last lap, during each other and wrecking multiple drivers in the process, but otherwise a nice clean race, and the leading battle's been clean as well. So Bressi knows he does not want to fall prey to wrecking tactics. He wants to keep it clean, keep it easy, and that patience will be key as the night goes on. You want to build, of course, your trust as a driver and not fake enemies. So with 26 more to do it, that 24 goes down to the inside line once again. It's going to be Rob Ackley up high still, keeping them all at bay, and they're all still tossing and turning, trying to find out what to do. And it looks like one thing that's going on the back of the pack is the closest battle in this race. However, as it stands, it's going to be Gael Brooks and Chris Gabot. They are battling for 16th. Gabot has it. Brooks has it not, and now he's going to go down to the inside line. The 71 takes it quite easily, and that's because Gael has 6 lap younger tires, so he takes it quite easily. 25 laps to go, and that's their closest battle of the race. But now it's the lead. It's going to be 24, 3 wide with the 64 and the 22. Ackley has the edge. Bressi falls back not 1 but 2 spots, and now the 24 dices it up once again as Cody Griffin is in frame as well. 25 laps to go, and the 64 now makes himself sure of a battle. Goes down to the inside line, and Bressi now hung out to dry up high. Gets that run, puts himself back in motion, and now they do it all over again. Now this is when it becomes certain that the driver in that 24 is not playing around. He wants this win, and he wants it bad. That's the closest he's gotten to making a move on anyone all night long. Now it's showing that the Thomas Bressi machine is here to fight for the checkered flag. To go behind the lap machine of Trevor Trago, now looking to get right inside him and slide right by. Rob Ackley leads them through. They all go down. No use of the Trevor Trago machine. It's a pickoff as every driver right there with one another. Nice to see 1, 2, and 3 get right by, but Ackley going to be able to make it a 1-2 chain as DJ Sanger takes it quite a bit differently. Now Cody Griffin has to pick up the scraps and get right there as well. 23 laps to go, going to become 22, and you know what that means on FTN. The TrackCams22.com. Crank it up. Track cams for Gorman's, the best cameras on iRacing as always, and as the battle gets more intense, watch it with the best views on any track in iRacing here at Chicagoland. Once again, TrackCams22.com. Let's crank it up uninterrupted on FTN, presented by Track Cams for Gorman's. And with now just 18 laps to go, Rob Ackley still your leading man as the battle continues to heat up. Ackley has it, and Thomas Bressi does not, but he's still right there for the taking. And Bressi not letting up, just an inch or so back on where we last saw him. PJ Stagner is still right there in third, but now it seems to be a two-car battle. Once again, Stagner still right there, but not having the momentum to make it happen. Now he has that boost, and right behind the 24 gets a big run. And Ackley shuts off the draft, goes down to the apron. Looks like that time by a successful operation. And the 22 of Rob Ackley has all that and then some when it comes to track real estate. And Ackley making himself the widest Chevy Camaro we've seen at Chicagoland, taking it down low, up high, what have you. Every time the 24 has a move to be made, it gets deflected, and it gets deflected quick. That 22 is on a tear, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And speaking of Chevy Camaros, the number 15 of Braxton Luis has snuck himself up into the top 10. And of course, pleasure of the fans in the chat room, and to the pleasure of every single one of the BDR fan club. Might watch this later, might watch this now. Always a great support to this channel. Chris DeWeese, Doug Middleworth, talking to one another as of recent in the chat room. Thank you both for stopping by. Let's go. Number 15 machine, the message aired by both. And they both, of course, want this man to get up there. A great run, a great recovery run. As we said, not the strongest race for him or Alec Daffin. Now he's 10th and Alec Daffin is in 9th. Looks like holding on for the later part. Wreck! It's going to be a big one. Griffin around. Justin Morton, yellow flags out. 15 laps to go. Oh my goodness, after oh so long under green, we're back under yellow. And let's find out just what happened here. Tarbuck contact with Griffin, clash tempers right there. Gets him to Johnny Giron, then goes down to Morton. Alec Davin might have gotten away clean. It looks like DeWeese gave us a good angle to get into it as Braxton gets by Alec Daffin. I'm not quite sure. We'll watch on board with him. Certainly going to be an interesting angle, to say the least. And taking it back a half a minute, riding aboard with Alec Daffin for our most recent and second caution of the night. And let's see, it looks like it spins out. That number 3 machine does, then comes up. And now Morton's going to get right in him. Yep, that is going to be a big hit. And that is going to be the number 1 machine. Certainly caught up with some damage on that front end, and he certainly still does have it. Alec Daffin, a clean recovery night, and as we mentioned, it seems like it all goes down the drain. The 1 machine now has some damage, and with so little time on the board, not sure whether or not that's going to be critical. This changes everything, just like that 1 machine right there going down on pit road. But everyone goes down on pit road for what is most likely going to be our final pit stop of the night. Take him in, Rob Ackley, and now Thomas Bressi right there to follow. This is it. The most intense run on pit road you've seen all season long to this point. This is the first race of the Clash, and you want to win it, and you want to win it well. As the 24 comes in, so does Chad Cole. Alan Dobbs going to be in. DJ Stanger as well. Now we wait. Bressi going to be able to take 4 tires and fuel, so it might be for Griffin. It could be the same thing for every driver here. But Kyle Cooper is off. Ackley can get that edge on Thomas Bressi, and Big Ackley gets the major jump. And now Rob Ackley over Chad Cole, Kyle Cooper, DJ Stanger, Thomas Bressi, Don Stevenson, Alec Daffin, Nick Tarbuck, Braxton Luis, Alan Dobbs, then Gael Brooks, Brad Patton, Brian McFerrin, Jacob Fife, Michael Stroll, Chris Kubo, Boomer Logan, Matthew Thornhurst, and then it will be 81 of Brandon Bernhardt and Joe Dinsmore. That is your race on pit road as I saw him. And the 22 machine, the top man with 13 laps to go. Have a ball. The number 22 now out in front for the first time in this yellow flag period. Of course, he has been leading under green. But now things have changed. A modified up in front. That's John Giron. 3 retirees as is DeBarro, Molarski, and then Forrest Smith. Giron comes down pit road this time by. Not sure what the plan is for him. Major damage all around. I'm not sure if that 33 could continue to race it in. He comes to pit road. That might just be it. It might be. He's not off the track. Only going to be on pit road for quite a while to fix up damage. Rob Ackley there with 12 laps to go knows this is it. And we're trying to get an extra replay if it's going to be a little bit challenging to see. We saw a bit of an extra replay, not really the main one. We'll find out what happened between Cody Griffin there and the 29 of Nick Tarbuck. Let's take it back just a bit more. An in-depth look, courtesy, of course, a request from the viewer here. So let's find out just what's happened. Here it is, the number 3, Cody Griffin up high, Tarbuck down low, and let's find out once again. Chad Cole takes him down low, 3 wide. Not much happens there. In 17, Machine looks to back out of that. Tarbuck up high, Griffin down low. Tarbuck actually seems to be a bit behind this to start, then gets that run, and then goes up there with Chad Cole 3 wide. Griffin comes down low, and I don't believe they calculated the room. Tarbuck stays higher, Griffin comes lower, and while they were 3 wide, it makes a dicier situation. That happens after. So it seems like a 3 wide run there leads to some chaos, and that's a more in-depth look at our replay for the wreck. So that being said, big time implications as Tarbuck, one of those guys in the clash, so is Cody Griffin, and now you've seen 3 clash drivers involved in our 2 cautions. That's actually the minimum. Alec Daffin, the 4th man involved from the clash. He got involved in that 2nd yellow, and it seems like certainly has some damage up on the front. So we took a look back at that extra yellow replay. Justin Morton caught up as well. Hard hit for him. Got out luckier, Alec Daffin did, because that number 1 machine got blocked by the number 9. 11 laps to go here and now in the Integrity Night Series Do the Move podcast 180. We'll take it to our final Next Level Racing promotional break here and now. Actually, let's see if I have enough time. We'll go green before that happens. So let's get this pace lap in. Don't want to miss any inch, any second of the green flag racing. So we will wait, hold it out, and make sure that you guys get the non-stop action before the checkered flag falls. It's going to be Rob Ackley there in first, Kyle Cooper now in second, and Chad Cole started in third all those laps ago. Now there with 11 laps to do it. The number 17 avoids the wreck, gets that pit stop of a lifetime. Now he's there. Ackley, Cooper, and Stagner beside him. iRacing official pace car drops in for the first time in over 100 laps. Ackley going to lead him once again. Kyle Cooper back up front. Let's go racing. Green flag for the second restart of the night, led by Rob Ackley. Rob Ackley going to be up front once again. 10 laps to go. He has that edge on the field. It's not major though. Chad Cole coming up with some vengeance, and he'll be there in second. This is all about the push. A 10-lap sprint after the endurance event that we've had over 100 laps here. You need to make it to the checkered flag on this run. You burn down the house, burn down the tires, do whatever you can. The checkered flag, it's here and now for any driver, as now Thunhorst way back in the field. These drivers know they can make up spots on the points leader. As Thomas Bressy gets squirrely that time by, Stagner gets the edge, and he holds it up high. And now the number 24 machine falls back to 4th. And how about this? Alec Daffin is in 5th here. The number 1 machine with damages still going strong. The 29 right there with him as well. So Nick Tarbuck, who got involved in that most recent incident, is still kicking and keeping himself right there intact with the number 1. 8 laps to go here. The drivers up in front getting bunched up more and more, especially the top 2. Now looks at the 7-3 side by side, but look who's right there. Chad Cole going for win number 1 of the season. The non-clash driver to lead all non-clash drivers is there in second. And Rob Ackley, your Daytona winner, looks to get this thing started once again on a high note. Ackley leads them through once again, making 7 laps to go, this time by Chad Cole right there. DJ Stanger in the mix, won the grass at Justin Morton. He'll save it, we'll keep on going. And with 1 in the grass, we won't stop for that. The wreck did not happen. A great save by, I believe, Justin Morton in the back of the field. And the 22 still has a lot of pressure right behind him. Brian McFerrin side by side now with Matthew Thunhorst. And we said he's pretty far back, but now in 16th with damage repaired. Fighting hard to get in the top 10. He's got drivers like Fife in front of him. He can make up some points on his championship adversaries. However, how many he'll make up, that is not to be determined just yet. In the back of the main pack, Braxton Luis now in that 9th spot, looking to chase down Alan Dobbs in 8th. He's getting closer. Gael Brooks is. And Brooks goes down to the inside line with that 15 right in the spot. Braxton goes up high, gets washed up. Going to be a battle with Boomer Logan as well. Logan looking for a top 10 this season, as Rob Ackley now has Chad Cole right in that bumper. Quarter panel driving, and he'll drive the rear end right off the 22. Side by side, they almost got, but Ackley holds a steady wheel and a steady line, making 5 laps to go here in Joliet. DJ Stagner right up there on the inside line. Chad Cole goes are going to be side by side for the race lead. 17-22, going at it once again, and it looks like this time through, Ackley still has that edge, and he has the nerve to keep defending it quite nicely. It is going to be all about the nerve. He's got to keep himself there and not get afraid. 5 laps to go, yellow flags out, we're heading to overtime. Big wreck. Bernhardt involved, let's find out just what happened. And an instant replay on the matter, Brandon Bernhardt gets caught up in it. Got a wide angle shot immediately thereafter. 5 becomes 4, and it will be 2 laps of racing to settle this one. And we see Chris Goubeau might have gone wide there. That might be the cause, as we're playing at a half speed already to find out everything. Kyle Cooper goes up high into Goubeau, and that's where it begins. And the 73 machine actually gets away from it there. That might not be it, but it looks like that's just before. Let's find out what happened once again. Goubeau dives it deep. The 54 keeps it going. And it looks like the 81 keeps showing that he's trying to drive it up to Matthew Thonos. Does Thonos get involved? That could be major for the clash. Not quite sure just yet. Side by side, 73 and the 54. But the 81 gets wiped out. That is for certain. Now let's take it up just a bit, as it seems like we replayed it just a bit early. Kyle Cooper gets loose and gets them Jacob Fife and Brandon Bernhardt and takes Bernhardt out just like that. And you can see the 73 was the big cause of that one. We'll get a look from his perspective there. That was Kyle Cooper. And Cooper now in 24th. So take it back 20 seconds here and find out what the 73 was up to, as he certainly got involved with Fife. Then gets Bernhardt. Then gets Brian McFerrin. Cody Smith right there. And then Brad Patton gets a huge hit on the front end. That could be big implications of the clash standings. That number 2 machine that's banged up with the front end, and that's going to be a major scuff with 3 laps to go. Now, with that being said, this is the final opportunity to get in the Next Level Racing promotional break without interruption. We will be right back. Once again, nextlevelracing.com for high-quality sim racing performance products for those dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information. We will be right back. Thank you all for your extended support tonight as we head to overtime in the Do The Move Podcast 180. That will be your final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. And once again, nextlevelracing.com, high quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Now, Rob Ackley there in first held them off on the most recent restart, but this restart will be all or nothing in every driver. No, just that. This restart will be a green-white checkered regardless of if it's natural or not. I don't believe it will be. We'll have a slight extension on this race already. Going to be about 122 laps of racing. With that being said, we'll go over our green-white checkered rules. Once again, 1 lap for the green flag lap immediately as we get going. With 2 laps to go if there's a wreck in this portion of the event. But we will go again and get another yellow flag on the night. If we don't have a yellow in that green flag lap and get to the 1 lap to go portion, that will get us to the white flag. It will be official from there. If a yellow flag is called in the white flag lap, that is the race. The results will be frozen at the time of the caution, and that race will end then and there. If not, we get to the checkered flag safely, and that's the race regardless, as we have 1 lap of pacing left to do it. And after over 100 laps of green flag racing, Ackley has the chance to get it done for the first time since Daytona, winning the first race of the season here in the Integrity Ignite Series. We're going to win the first race of the Clash, a season of firsts for every driver in this league. And tonight, Rob Ackley looks to grab the most important first of them all for his championship chances as 2023A, the first season of 2 mini-seasons here in the Integrity Ignite Series, comes down to the wire, and it's already getting exciting. As Stagner up high, then Rob Ackley down low, Chad Cole, a non-clash driver, well, he is there in the 3rd spot, and Thomas Bresci up high for 4th. A dominator all night long is still in the cards, so don't count him out. 22-64. Let's get ready to settle the score. Let them know. Got it done. Let's find out who can get it won. The iRacing official pace car comes down and in. This time by, it looks like extended slightly, so we will not have that, but it looks like the 2 laps to go signal comes out late. That means 1 more lap of pacing. Matthew Thorners disconnects from the session, 28th on the board. He just disconnected, so that might be why. That being said, 1 lap to go. Once again, Thorners, who's having a great recovery drive, now down and out. Number 8 machine from 28th early on due to the wreck, now up to 16th and down again. The last man on the lead lap, and it looks like that will be his night, just like that. It appears to be a hardware malfunction, so now Ackley and Stagner and Chad Cole again will have to set up for 1 race. Finish 123 laps, 1 more extension to put on. Of course, the restart as well. There we have it. Alec Daffin there in the top 6. Nick Tarbuck following an incident is as well. Alan Dobbs, Don Stevenson still inside that top 8. And the final men in the top 10, Braxton Luis and Gael Brooks. Let's find out who's got it and who has not. Around to turn number 4, this time by, it's Rob Ackley. First position, DJ Stagner there in 2nd. Chad Cole going to be position number 3, and Thomas Bresci there in 4th. Let's get right into it one more time. The iRacing official pace car dives in, and this time, it's official. The final laps of this event, it could be here, it could be now. The first restart of the attempt of the night is on, and here we go again in the clash. Caution number 3 leads to restart number 3, and it's overtime 1. Ackley gets the jump that he needs. That's exactly what he wants out of that first segment of the track. Stagner's in 2nd right now. Chad Cole has Thomas Bresci pinched up in the 3rd. Nick Tarbuck's in 5th, side by side with Alec Daffin. Alan Dobbs right there. And every driver keeping each other honest as they come to the line this time by. The wide angle shows it, and Rob Ackley knows it. It is 1 lap to go here in Chicagoland, and DJ Stagner all over that back bumper. Watch on board Stagner here. That 64 machine backs up the run. Diamond arcs the corner, gets it down to the apex a bit later. Now Ackley, is it good on the brand backstretch? Let's find out. Ackley still has it going, and it seems like he knows what he's got to do. Stagner with a lunge this time by. He tries to make one. It looks like he fakes one, and if nothing happens to Rob Ackley, it will be no use. The man who wins at Daytona to kick off the season will win the first race of the clash. A drag race, but it is no use. Rob Ackley wins the first race of the Integrity Ignite Series Clash, the Do The Move Podcast 180, and he did the move with a perfect time. Pit stop strategy, wins the race, and it is Rob Ackley on top of the board for the first time since Daytona. And how about it for Rob Ackley winning for the first time since our season opener, and what a clutch win it is. DJ Stagner 2nd, and Chad Cole 3rd to lead those outside of the clash. And now Rob Ackley takes his lap and makes it down to the front stretch to burn down the house. But before we see that, let's get your race results on the board. Stick around for results and interviews as Rob Ackley gets it done from DJ Stagner, 74,000 to the 2nd away, and Chad Cole there in 3rd. Nick Tarbuck charges hard, 21st to 4th. That's going to put him, of course, inside the top 5 with Thomas Bresci qualifying and finishing in 5th, half a second off. Alec Daffin from 16th to 6th jumps up big and gets it done there. And Don Stevenson going to be in 7th with Gael Brooks in 8th and Braxton Luis from 18th to 9th. Great recovery run as well. Boomer Logan 30th to 10th. That is the hard charger by a landslide there. And a great top 10 effort from Logan, 1 second off of your winner. Then, Joe Dinsmore in 11th, Jacob Fife in 12th, 2 seconds off with Carson Bichtel in 13th, and Brandon Wenger going to be in 14th, Cody Gurren 15th, then Brian McFerrin there in position number 16, Cody Smith, 17th, Adam Wood returning in 18th, and Alan Rodwell there in 19th. Brandon Bernhardt, position number 20. Then Brad Patton, 21st. Chris Gabot, 22nd. Trevor Trago in 23rd. And Alan Dobbs in 24th. With Casey Shue, position number 25. Justin Morton, 26th. Kyle Cooper, 27th. And Michael Stroll in his return race. Wrecked early, position number 28. Jonathan Giervon, 29th. And your retirees go as follows. Matthew Lundis with a disconnection from pole position to 30th. And then for Smith, 31st, Cal Filarski, 32nd, and Anthony Navarro from 2nd outside pole, wrecked in the first lap, 108 laps down, 33rd, and last. And Rob Ackley gets his burnout in motion live on FTN. Let's take a look before we get interviews on the way. And Ackley burns down the house and comes home victorious. And once again, he starts things off quite well, wins the first race of the season, and now wins the first race of the Clash. More clutch than anyone else all season long so far. Once again, in victory lane when it matters. How about that for the man in that number 22? It is Rob Ackley, once again, the top man on the board. And there you have it, Rob Ackley. How you feel after this one, winning in a clutch performance to kick off the Clash?
Oh, it feels great to get a win on a track that's not Daytona. Oh, that was pretty hard fall racing up there with Bressie and DJ Stagner. And I think that pitting the lap before the rest of them guys did, getting me out front, that's what won me the race.
And it appears that tire strategy made it all work out. Now, how about it? No, what made you decide that call? It seems like it was a very late decision between every leader to come down to the perfect time, and the undercut worked out for you.
It was just so hard to pass, and Bressie was doing a great job defending the lead, and there was really no way I was going to get around him. I figured pit strategy was the only way to do it, so I kind of tried to catch those guys off guard and get in before they did.
And it seems like it caught them off guard quite nicely. Now, a long run all night long, but eventually it came down to the few final short runs. So what made the difference in those final few blips, especially the overtime?
I was pretty much running all out the last two restarts. I was kind of happy we got that one caution because I knew if I got a good jump, I only had to hold them off for 2 laps instead of 10 or 12 in a row. So honestly, I was kind of happy when that caution came out, set us up for the green-white checkered.
Seems like the caution kept you up in front and might have saved you there. How'd you feel, though, with all the pressure behind you? Stagner, Bressie, and Chad Cole, was there any thought in your mind to become a bit more of a duel?
Yeah, they had me worried for sure. I was trying to make sure I hit my marks, especially in 3 and 4. If you missed the bottom in 3 and 4, you were in trouble. You could kind of make up for it in 1 and 2 no matter where you ran, but 3 and 4, I had to keep it right on that white line. I was just concentrating on that.
And concentration, it makes the key to success for Rob Ackley, getting it done in the first race of the Clash. Now, how about it? That's exactly what you need to start off this championship run. What's the next step here as the final few races that are underway?
Yeah, we'll just keep it rolling. I'm hoping a couple more solid finish will get us into the final 8 or whatever the cutoff is, and we'll just race them from there.
And going from there, Rob Ackley gets it done here from Chicagoland. Now, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Hey, I just got to thank all my teammates at Domination Intimidation Racing and all the guys we were racing with tonight. It was a dogfight up front most of the night and pretty clean, so it was a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun it was to watch as Rob Ackley gets it done in a dogfight all night long here in the Do The Move Podcast 180. Now, thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
And there we have it. Ackley going to be on the way and second on the board. DJ Stagner makes it so and runs this one out. Second place finish. Now, as it stands, I don't actually see him in a broadcast booth, so we'll get him in just a moment trying to get a word from him. Now, we will find out whether or not he is eligible to make an interview. Of course, some guys sometimes immediately shut off everything, and it looks like Stagner right now is not online, or actually he is, but just not in a voice chat. Getting word from DJ Stagner right now, trying to get him into a voice chat to get a word, of course, for a second place interview. As it stands, no words, so we'll give it just a moment. Stagner finishes in second. Close fight all night long, just not enough for the victory. A great battle. Every driver there in the mix. Stagner right now typing to us. We're just going to tell him to get a voice chat. And we will have him in just a moment. There he is, DJ Stagner, second on the board tonight. A great battle with the leaders all night long. How do you feel after this one?
It's considering it's the first race of the playoffs. Second is fine, and that's all I'll say about it. It's disappointing because I feel like we had a real shot, but second is very okay considering I think others had some problems. So we'll take the good points day and see what the future holds.
And a good points day it was. Now long runs and then a few short runs at the end there. What made the difference when it came to the tire strategy?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I was really hoping we didn't get those last little string of cautions there because I felt really good about where we were sitting with those two battling really hard in front. I thought tires were going to be in our favor compared to those two, but the caution at 106 or whatever, it turned things upside down and it just became a sprint, get what you can get and hope you don't crash kind of race. And luckily, just the right lanes kind of fell into hand on the restarts and it just worked out.
And the right lanes indeed, able to start up front. How important was track position in these restarts? Because of course it seemed like it got a bit dicier at the end.
Yeah, the car was really loose on restarts, so it was kind of scary to push all the way, but at the end, you just kind of had to do that and hope it stuck. So that's I think me and Bresci almost wadded up at one point on a restart coming off turn 2 just because I think I pulled off the wall a little bit and we almost wrecked. But so I mean, it was chaotic.
And despite the chaos, able to come home with a great finish. Now, another thing, a great way to start the clash here in the Integrity Night Series. What's the game plan from here on out with the great point standings? Of course, you got a bit of a leap here on some drivers early on.
Well, really, I mean, you're not going to win the championship unless you make the final 8, right? So at this point, it's just going to be about staying out of trouble and making sure that everything goes smoothly the way it needs to go. There's no need to take any wild gambles or anything. A 10th is better than trying something to go for the win and finishing 28th. So it's like just kind of it's about smarts at this point. Just be smart and be aware of the situation around you with points.
And awareness will be the key for DJ Stagner's second night, racing it quite well all night long, no matter what happened. So anything you'd like to add, any final thoughts, anyone else you'd like to thank?
I think everybody at Swamp Motorsports, it's slowly but surely the season's turned around after a pretty rough start, and here we are. We're sitting in a really good spot, and just want to thank those few up front that was racing towards the end. It was a really fun, clean race, and had a good time.
And there we have it, Stagner, a good time up front and a great run to come home with second and a good points night to start the clash. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it, Stagner going to be on his way. And how about this for a driver not involved with the clash, but a great result and all night long, one of the best to do it. Chad Cole starting in the podium and finishing there. How do you feel after this one?
I'm pretty worn out, man. I've been up since yesterday, so I didn't really want to race to begin with. But Gael and Chris kind of rolled me into it. I'm not able to race like a full time schedule. I'm kind of like maybe not even a handful of times a month, honestly. So it's fun. Chicago is one of my favorite tracks. It has a lot of character with bumps and abrasive surface. So I really enjoy that and. Similar to Atlanta in that respect, but um, kind of caught myself off guard with a P3 qualifying effort. The way they have the wind set up for these races is always pretty intriguing because it kind of goes diagonally across the track. So you just got to drive both ends of the track completely different, which is it actually adds a good aspect to it where you're just not clicking off laps. You actually need to think a little bit what you're doing more so than usual. But it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed racing with these guys. I don't know about not being in the chase for the championship, or I'm not sure what they call it, but um, it's kind of difficult racing with these guys and knowing that they have a lot more to lose. So you gotta try to race with a little bit more respect and be a little bit smarter there. And I think I maybe could have done something with the 22, but it would have felt kind of dive bomby, and I don't really like racing like that. So I hope they see it as I race with them with respect and didn't do them any wrong there.
And a long race when it came to strategy all around. Now, Chad, I'd have to ask you, what's more important, the long run, the tire strategy, or the short run? And of course, the track position there. Did that make a difference more? The long run, when you saw about 100 laps worth, or was it all about the end?
Yeah, it was all about that short run, that 10 lap or whatever it was shootout, which is not my forte. I'm a long run guy. I need those long runs, and we were able to get some good green flag pit stops in there. Couple times is a little sketchy coming to pit road. Guys calling it last minute. You kind of have to maneuver around them. But yeah, that caution came out with about 15 to go, setting up about 10 lap shootout, and wasn't a big fan of that. But you got to make do with like what you can, and I'm just kind of happy to come back with a third, all things considered.
And a great way to come back for the 17 camp. Now, mentioning it, of course, it's going to be a part-time schedule for you. What's the goal for the final few races of the season?
Yeah, just it's so hard to tell what my schedule's going to be with work. So I just hopefully get some top fives next time I show up, and kind of build a little rapport with these guys yet again, being a new league, and trying to get to know these guys yet. So just kind of getting that respect in there.
There we have it, looking to gain some respect and a great, right, of course, great race to get it done. Getting it done right. Chad Cole, podium position. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Guy Brooks for painting my ridiculous looking car. That was a Kyle Busch paint job. He ran back in the Nationwide Series with Gibbs, and they had that Toyota sponsor fire commercial, and that thing was just too ridiculous. And that's actually something I've run for oh my goodness, 15 maybe years, going back to NASCAR Racing '03. So you guys usually get a kick out of it. I think some are a little confused, but it's all in good fun. But you know what? I'm on the cockpit. I don't have to look at it, so that doesn't bug me.
Well, there we have it. Chad Cole, the paint scheme to go with it. Kyle Busch, of course, successful. And tonight, a successful run. Third here in Chicagoland. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it, you guys.
There we have it. Chad Cole going to be on the way. Third on the night. And the man who gets it done, Rob Ackley, back on the top of the board. Now, but thank you all for watching. We got the word. Braxton Deweese wins the second bracket of the Ignite Series season. And we'll have to interview him next week when we go at it once again. Another great show on Monday nights as the Clash gets on its way. We got to thank y'all for watching. Once again, we live tomorrow with the Integrity Octane Series as their season just getting kicked off, about 10 races through as is. And their championship chase not in a while, but it certainly is coming up. You won't want to miss it. Thank y'all for watching live on FDN once again. And I'm David Troitz, your host for tonight's broadcast, and we truly did hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. This has been Integrity Ignite Series and the presentation of the Do the Podcast 180. Thank you all for your time. We hope you have a great night.